my cute little thing.
Greetings, He fans. Got some little Masters of the Universe reviews for you, and I'm talking little, taking a look at the Masters of the Universe world's smallest releases thanks to good brother Micah. And as soon as I saw those in my gift box, the first thing I thought was those are going to look awesome with my Icon Heroes Castle Grayskull, which is high atop the little deluxe extra pack that they included. I've got this Mega Constructs He-Man, which I reviewed some time ago, and he's been standing in front of there, and he looks cool, but he's also, you know, kind of blocky, kind of Lego looking. There were a couple of other miniature figure releases in the 2000X line. There was this little He-Man, and then they also did this was a keychain, and I just took off the keychain part of it, and it's a smaller He-Man. Not bad for this castle, but when I saw this, I thought, man, that is going to be absolutely perfect. So before I crack this package open, I'm going to give you a look at the packaging of He-Man, and there's also Battle Cat, and Teela was also included in the gift box, as well as Skeletor. So this is the first wave of World's Smallest Masters of the Universe. And there's a picture of the releases on the back here. Collect them all. And also another picture of them out of package here. The set of 4 is up for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, by the way. And I've got a link you can follow in the show notes if you want to pick that up. And they're really sealed in here in this clamshell packaging. You got the World's Smallest logo here. The first time I heard about this toy line coming out, World's Smallest, I thought it was connected to the World's Smallest Transformers from some years back that were released in Japan, and those are really, really cool. Little miniature Transformers. I don't know if there's any affiliation with that company or they just thought the name would be appropriate. Filmation artwork in the top corner of the He-Man figure, and then to give you a look at what's included, that's kind of interesting. There's a picture of the shield and the axe with no sign of the sword. So I'm hoping the sword is included. It's really hard to tell in behind the packaging if it is. And then over for Teela, there's a picture of the Filmation artwork and a picture of what she includes, which is her shield and her snake staff. Now, the headdress is not pictured here, although it's clearly included there. So I'm hoping that sword is included with He-Man too. Ooh, the drama arises. That's interesting. That sort of, to me, looks like Origins He-Man. It's a really tiny, tiny picture. But from the picture, it looks like Origins He-Man, whereas to my eye, that is an original 1982 He-Man head. I don't know, you be the judge, but it seems to me like they've almost just, maybe that was the original plan to shrink down an Origins head. Glad they went with the original head. And there's also Skeletor with his Havoc Staff. I'll do some comparisons when I open these guys up with their larger versions. And Battle Cat too. Very interested to see how He-Man, if He-Man can ride Battle Cat. It doesn't seem as though their legs are articulated. The World's Smallest G.I. Joe legs aren't articulated either. Kind of a missed opportunity for G.I. Joe. It would have been so cool to have World's Smallest G.I. Joe vehicles and be able to have Joes actually drive in them. But that's the packaging, and let's open them up now. And here they are all opened up, and here's a huge bonus. If you have difficulty deciding whether you want to open them up or not, and it's kind of a shame to open up those big clamshell packagings, these are resealable. And I really like this idea right here. This is how the larger figures of today, I think, could be packaged. Some sort of flap door that opens up on the back so that, you know, any collector will tell you it's important to have a nice secure bubble on the front of the card. But I really like how that is designed right there. You can get into the back here and get all the accessories. I can see Skeletor's sword in there, so there's hope that He-Man includes a sword too. And then this is so tiny, little clamshell to keep Skeletor secured in there, and popped. Oh, they're so tiny. This is amazing. The level of detail in this is incredible. Do we have 2 points of articulation? The head doesn't seem to move. The legs are bendy, so He-Man might fit on that battle cap, but at least the arms are movable. This could have easily been just a little chunk of plastic, kind of like those mini micro G.I. Joe figures from some years back. He doesn't stand worth a lick, but luckily I think there is a stand included in this little bag. So we'll dump out the... Whoa, that's tiny. This this knife really reminds me of the wrenches that came with those Impossible Toys Spike and Sparkplug figures from some years back. This is just... And Skeletor didn't come with a knife, so I'm not sure why they included that, but that is really tiny. That is odd that they gave him a knife. And this tiny clear little stand with a little tiny post. This is just awesome. Anyone who's ever worked with models, I think you're really going to enjoy these, just with how tiny they are and detailed they are. Havoc Staff, and a look at the Havoc Staff. The hand is in a gripping position, but it is so tiny. I don't think it'll be able to hold it very well. It does hold it, but because it's such a loose grip, the staff just kind of slides down to the base of his grip. The sword incredibly has the same type of brace on the end. So just like with the large Skeletor, you can feed the sword through. You want to be really careful when you're playing with something this scale. Feed that through, fingers through the brace, and so he holds that sword really securely. The knife, I don't know. I'll just put it back in the package because there's no real place to put that. I don't really like the idea of Skeletor carrying around a knife, carrying a shiv around in his harness. When he holds the accessories, that starts to make him really front heavy. So anything that applies to the larger figures is going to apply to the little guys maybe even more, since they're so weightless. But he's holding on there. Here's your little micro tiny Skeletor. And for a size comparison, here is the original Commemorative Skeletor, who just seems like a giant compared to the world's smallest Skeletor. I guess it's true, that is definitely the world's smallest Skeletor. I don't recall ever seeing a smaller Skeletor with, at least with this level of detail and paint in him. So I think that's really impressive. And a couple of more comparisons. Here's one of the G.I. Joe Micro figures that came out a long time ago, and they're about twice as big as world's smallest Skeletor. And then this is the closest thing in my collection to a world's smallest Skeletor. It is I believe it's Impossible Toys Diaclone size drivers for Transformers, and that's the wrench I was talking about. It's about the size of that dagger, just really small, very easy to lose. So we got 3 more to go, and before I get to them, I forgot to show off this catalog. This is not the world's smallest catalog. Look at the size of this thing. And it shows off all of the world's smallest stuff they've done. It's not just toys. They've got good old classic Polaroid camera. Oh, they do these little arcade keychains too. And look at this, Care Bears, G.I. Joe, Mr. Potato Head, Atari. So many cool little miniatures. Viewmaster right there. This is a double-sided catalog too. All these little tiny arcades. I love those. I've got one in the flag. Sometimes you'll see Shipwreck playing Pac-Man in the Ultimate USS flag. So lots of awesome stuff from World's Smallest. Who are we going to go with next? Let's go with Teela and finish off with He-Man and Battle Cat. But the door opens up. And I really like the design here. It's easy to pull out just with this tab that they've included in here. There's Teela. Super tiny. Wow. With the headdress that is removable. Oh, it's actually strapped in. I thought it'd just pull off like the large version. But is it glued in? I think it might be glued in actually. Yeah, it's let's see if I can turn it around just to give you a peek at the head sculpt. It's not bad, but I think that's more impressive looking, just keeping the headdress on. And she's going to need a stand as well. Yeah, I doubt she's going to be able to stand on her own. You probably don't want to empty these baggies over shag carpet. You're going to want some hard flat surface where it's going to be easy to see where things are dropping. Pop the... My goodness, that is a tiny, tiny peg hole on the foot. Teela's feet are much smaller than Skeletor's, so you might have to just kind of twist back and forth to get it onto the stand without breaking it. Comes with a really teeny tiny shield that has a really tiny clip on it, so you just press that on there and it's on there. And her little snake staff as well. These might be the tiniest things I've ever reviewed. There's a hole in the fist, so this should grip better than Skeletor grips, because you can just feed it through, push it down. Always a danger of splitting that hand when you're doing this, but we're okay here. Man, that is incredible. And there is the warrior goddess, the captain of the guard, whatever your continuity is. Teela, teeny, teeny, tiny. Man, that looks really awesome. Going with the castle Grayskull that I've got here. That seems to be the absolute perfect scale with each other. This deluxe set add-on, it has this little part right here where, yeah, I guess she'd have to duck a little bit. Maybe the figures would have to be even smaller to go with this particular castle, but now I think we're splitting hairs. That's so much better in terms of scale than Mega Construx. Look at how ginormous this Mega Construx figure is. And for a size comparison, here is the original giant warrior goddess Teela. And the color is really close. I got the color right too. Next up is Battle Cat, and here's a look at the box that Battle Cat comes in. Hard box, and it looks like it's got a door that opens up. Filmation artwork on the front there. And I think you just pop that open and remove this securing clamshell. There's another clamshell on the inside that you can place him into. It's awesome that he comes with a box like the original Battle Cat came with. And let's take a peek and see if this Battle Cat has any articulation. He does! He's got the most articulation of any of these figures. He's got 5 points of articulation. Each foot moves, leg moves, and then this is a total bonus. His tail is articulated. I wouldn't have expected them to go that far. The helmet comes off, revealing the ferocious original tiger face, the big Jim tiger. Pop that on there. It looks like the harness, kind of like Tila. It's kind of glued shut, glued sealed, so it doesn't look like it's all that removable. It might be, but it's not important enough to me to risk damaging this cool little figure trying to get it off. And here's a little 360. This teeny tiny battle cat. And just to give you an idea for size comparison, here's that keychain battle cat from 2000X. And the original battle cat, humongous, compared to the new tiny one. And the coloration is perfect again. Really, well, the harness is a little brighter red, but and that seems to pop off, but maybe a little sticky tack would help with that. The coloration of the tiger body is perfect. They've got the green exact, and then the stripes almost exact. Really teeny tiny battle cat, and I'm so glad that the individual legs are articulated, because with these tiny guys, case in point, this guy, when you get warping of this plastic, it just never seems to sit right, no matter how much you heat it with a hairdryer and try to correct it. This battle cat is always kind of leaned to the side. I don't know if he's supposed to. It just feels to me more like it's because the plastic is warped and he's not standing properly. So having 4 posable legs on here just gives you more of a chance to make sure he's not leaning himself like that. So that's Battle Cat. And then finally, last, certainly not least, the most powerful man in the universe. It's He-Man. And here are his accessories. And the sword is in there. And he comes with a knife too. The Knife of Power? That is so weird. I wonder what the deal is with... He comes with 2 knives. That's really interesting. Now I'm wondering if Skeletor was supposed to come with 2 knives. I've double-checked my Skeletor packaging, and he's only got the 1 knife. So for some reason, this He-Man has 2. I don't know if that's intentional or just a bonus. So that was a time-lapse cut right there. I dropped one of these, and it took me 2 minutes to find it. These are just so tiny. If you lose it, it might just end up in a little nook or cranny somewhere, and good luck finding it. Comes with a shield too. Oh man, that's so awesome. This is looks more like the Origins shield. I think it's a shrunk down Origins shield instead of an original He-Man shield. And the axe, which kind of looks like a shrunk down Origins axe. So they're going off of some of the Origins designs. Here's the power sword. Thank goodness it's included, and it's silver. So that's cool. It's, it would have been cool if it was the original gray, same color as the shield and the axe, but, I don't mind the silver. It makes it look, nice and shiny and powerful. Pull out this clamshell, and there's He-Man, the star of the show, with a giant harness. I guess to make the harness, I don't know if it's removable either. Kind of like Tila and Skeletor, it's just not really meant to take that much abuse being removed. You might be able to. No, I'm not going to risk it though. You can go ahead and risk yours and let me know though. Same articulation as Tila and Skeletor. I don't believe the head moves. We've got to armor him up, gear him up, pop the stand onto the foot. That fits nice and snug. Pop the shield onto the hand. That fits nicely. He's, well, I guess like Skeletor, you can actually have him hold all of his weapons. You could take the power sword, Sword of Power, and stick it in the hand, in the shield hand, but this is what I've always done with my He-Man figure is, my original He-Man figure is have one hand hold the sword. See if we can hold the sword aloft. Ah, there we go. That loop really helps. I can't believe they were able to add that at this scale. And then I've always just stuck the axe in the back, and I'm hoping there's enough room back there to fit this axe. It's kind of a tight fit, and this is really tough to do. Get it on camera, because I feel like if I move an inch, I'm off camera here. Plus getting it in focus. There we go. Just feed it right down the back. Now He-Man's got his sword, he's got his shield, he's got his knives of power. Such a strange accessory. I'll just be putting those aside there. That's most powerful man in the universe, tiniest man in the universe, too. Give Ant-Man a run for his money, that's for sure. And here's an original He-Man beside the new one. The browns on the World's Smallest are much more brown, earthy brown, and the browns on the original He-Man are like a reddish brown. And the power swords do not connect. They are just solid swords. That would have been something if at this scale you'd be able to actually combine the two power swords, but they would have to be so thin individually in order to combine them both. So now the big question is if He-Man will fit atop Battle Cat. And luckily this plastic is floppy enough that you don't have to risk breaking anything. You should be able to just slide down. He's going real bow-legged here in order to fit on there. But you can push him down there. Now if you have him on Battle Cat for an extended period of time, I'm wondering if you're going to permanently warp He-Man's legs. But for the short term, I just wanted to see how this looks. It's okay. The legs are definitely, sticking out way too much. It doesn't really look natural. But if you insist on your He-Man riding atop Battle Cat, and that's been some of the really awesome imagery. He-Man on Battle Cat on his way into Castle Grayskull. It's an option. Options are good. But personally, I don't think that's going to cut it. The legs sticking out like that, and then also I don't want to warp this guy. From the moment I saw him, when I opened up that gift box, I thought he's going to be standing just at the drawbridge of Castle Grayskull, and I thought he'd look so awesome up there, so that's what I'm going to do right now. And tons of space here, a lot more space for this little guy than the Mega Construx figure had. Look how tiny he is, which just makes Castle Grayskull look so much bigger, makes the drawbridge look huge. That is so cool. And then you can have Battle Cat, I guess, standing on the other side of the bridge, waiting for He-Man to jump clear and join him in another adventure, saving Eternia from Skeletor. Wow. Yeah, these definitely go nicely together, and I think these World's Smallest, despite how tiny they are, they've got an incredible level of detail that goes so much better with the Icon Heroes Grayskull than this guy does. This guy has a lot of detail too, but it's more of like a fun Lego level of detail, and it doesn't mesh as well with the ultra etched detail of the Icon Heroes Castle Grayskull. That is just so awesome. Yeah, that's everything that I thought it was going to be. The perfect little additions compliments to your Icon Heroes Castle Grayskull. And you can place the other figures at various parts on the castle. Skeletor can go along the side door, trying to sneak in through the side door. And then there's a tower up top, and since Tila is the captain of the guard, she can have a watchful eye from atop Castle Grayskull. And one of the Grayskull bonus packs, the deluxe pack, was the Point Dread and Talon Fighter. And like the original Castle Grayskull, you can pop this Point Dread Talon Fighter add-on onto there, and it scales perfectly with these miniature figures too. That looks like 2 of these world's smallest figures would fit uncomfortably in this Talon Fighter, but there's really not much you can do. I mean, you wouldn't really stick the figure on the stand here beside the Talon Fighter. That looks weird. So I think it's better to just have one of the figures on the tower, and hopefully when they do more, there'll be a lot more figures filling up the roof of Grayskull. So once again, a big thank you to good brother Micah for including these in his last gift box. These are cool, but honestly, I don't think I would have picked them up, just because as much as I love G.I. Joe, I haven't picked those world's smallest G.I. Joes up, and I'm so glad to have these. They really add on to this Grayskull that I've had for years, and it's just awesome when you can have something for years and appreciate it, but then some little accessory, some little compliment, some garnish comes along, and it just makes it so much better. Gives it a fresh paint of coat, as Brother Love always says. So if you're interested in getting these, I haven't seen them in stores anywhere in my area, up in Canada, but my favorite online toy store, Big Bad Toy Store, does have them in. You can get them individually, or you can get them in a set, and you can check out the link in the show notes there. They've also got a couple of other world's smallest toys. It's got some of the Joes. I guess they do Transformers as well, but not transforming Transformers, just in this style of figure. Thanks as always to the Patreon tribe for providing this channel Patreon power. I want to give a warm welcome to our newest Patreon tribe members, Victor H. and Hypnotron. And a show of appreciation to Dave Conroy. Thanks for the extra energon, good brother. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Feel free to give it a share around the internet. And to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Nerdmas Day.